Jimmy G got injured again, broke his foot, out for the year. Now, the 49ers has been a team with lofty expectations. That's been the case for the last 2, 3 seasons. So, Zach, I lob that up to you again. Can the 49ers still win a Super Bowl without Jimmy G?
So I'm not ready to call the 49ers completely dead, but they're most likely dead. And it's just a super unfortunate situation because I feel like there haven't been too many teams that have struggled or have had worse luck when it comes to injuries more than these San Francisco 49ers. And we even saw it earlier this season with Trey Lance and his ankle injury. He's out for the season. And the 49ers, we sat here on the show saying how lucky they were and how fortunate they were for bringing back Jimmy G. And the reason why that's so important is because I believe this is one of, if not the most talented rosters in the NFL. And we know Jimmy G is not some elite quarterback, but he's proven with this team, you're going to have the opportunity to win some big games, and he could get you to the Super Bowl. And now without Jimmy G, it's just a devastating blow because this 49ers team, to their credit, they went all in at the trade deadline, giving up a second, a third, and a fourth for Christian McCaffrey to go along with Debo and Ayuk and George Kittle and that elite defense. And now they're going to have to turn to not only a rookie, but Mr. Irrelevant, the guy who was literally the last pick in the 2022 NFL draft, the rookie Brock Purdy from Iowa State. And I was impressed by Purdy again in that game against the Dolphins. He made some nice plays, but I am not sure if he's not the guy. Like, things are going to be very different when a team has a full week to game plan for him, to watch film, and to just fully prepare for him. Now, Kyle Shanahan, I trust him as a head coach. I think part of the reason why he's such a good coach is his ability to make things easier for the quarterback. And that's why the fit with him and Jimmy Garoppolo works so well. And one critique people have of Kyle Shanahan is his record isn't particularly great without Jimmy Garoppolo in the lineup. And my counter argument to that would be, okay, before Jimmy Garoppolo got to San Francisco, the 49ers were not ready to win. They were a bad team. And when he got hurt, Nick Mullins and CJ Beathard, they played a little bit a few years ago. And when Jimmy G tore the ACL, like, those teams, not only were they not good enough to win, but they were injured outside of the quarterback position. That those 49ers teams, I don't think ever had a legit shot. The difference is outside of the quarterback position here, they still have an elite defense and an elite running game and a really good head coach. And in a weak NFC, I think that's going to give you the chance to win some games in the playoffs. So I'm not calling them completely dead, but they might just be dead. It's just a brutal situation.
Well, first off, to start off with Jimmy G, it sucks for the guy. I always been a Jimmy G prop, on the show. Like, I always felt that people disrespected his resume. Your resume follows you everywhere. And that's a real life situation. And his resume is a winner. You got to classify him as such because his resume speaks that way. Despite of his limitations or wherever the case may be, clutch moments, maybe not there like it's supposed to be in big games. Winner. Now, unfortunately, his body is not coinciding with his resume because he's always getting hurt. And right now, I'm getting Sam Bradford vibes. And that's part of the reason why the 49ers wanted to move on in the first place, to get a guy like Trey Lance, right? To not only get a guy that's durable, but to expand the playbook, from a rushing perspective. But it sucks for Jimmy G. He's a nice cat. The teammates gravitate to him, so it sucks for them. So the fact that they won that game against the Dolphins, who's a pretty good team, that was a very impressive win that kind of went under the radar because of all the theatrics that happened in that 4:00 hour. But with that being said, to answer this question, can the 49ers still win a championship? No, I'm sorry. Zach, you may have a little optimistic, saying that they might not be completely dead. Yeah, they zombie land right now. First of all, to my understanding, you could correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe a rookie quarterback has ever won a Super Bowl, to my knowledge. So you behind the odds in that retrospect. Now, not saying that they probably going to stick with the rookie because we're going to talk about potential quarterbacks in the subtopic of this topic, but there's no quarterback that you can bring in that can get you to a Super Bowl. Not nobody that I know of, respectfully. Okay, not nobody that has won a Super Bowl respectfully. So maybe somebody that participated in one, and that's might be the quarterback I bring up in the second subtopic. But yeah, they done to be exact. Now they have a good team. Don't get me wrong. They have talents all over the field. So they probably still can win the division because their roster is so talented defensively, not giving up points in the second half. You know, guys that can do a plethora of things. Debo Samuel. Shoot, if it's down to Baker Mayfield, I'd rather have Debo Samuel running my quarterback. To be honest with you, we have so many guys on this team that can do a multitude of things, right? Catch, block, you know, everything, right? George Kittle, he could do everything. Debo, he could do everything. CMC is a hybrid guy. Like, they have a lot of guys that can do everything. I honestly would go with Debo as my quarterback over Baker Mayfield. That man is trash.
Now, there were some names I thought about. Ryan Fitzpatrick was the first name that came to mind for me. Phillip Rivers, you know, these guys are retired. They're on the couch. But the guy, if I were the 49ers, that I would have called right away and said, you know what? We want to bring you in. I know you just retired.
Drew Brees?
Nah. Big Ben, I think, would have been the perfect fit for this 49er team because I know, like, last year was bad. He was a statue. But I don't think people realize, like, Big Ben had seven fourth quarter comeback drives last season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is a lot considering he was old. He didn't look good. And again, I'm not saying he would be the guy that would just save the 49ers from the promised land. But if I was Kyle Shanahan, like, that's the guy I would call Hall of Fame quarterback, future two-time Super Bowl winner, future Hall of Famer. Why not? Make Big Ben say no.
I mean, look, man, the 49ers, it sucks for them. Because
the fact that we're even talking about this, it just shows that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it sucks because, you know, when your championship window, and we talked about this a lot, your championship window was never as wide open as you think it is. They had plenty of opportunities. So even though I think the general consensus, if you go around, a lot of people are on a more somber side, like, oh, man, it sucks for the 49ers. It sucks for Jimmy G. But there were opportunities. They could have won the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. They had a 10-point lead. They could have won last year. So, you know, I don't think nobody, at least me, I'm not going to feel sorry for them because they had the opportunities. And that's why whenever you get to the Super Bowl, you have to come to the realization that you might not get back there and you have to win it. And injuries are part of the game. The 49ers know that because they've been dealing with the injury bug as well. Injuries are almost certain in the National Football League. It's about who gets injured and can you overcome those injuries. And sure enough, these injuries have been tragic injuries out for the year. Now, the one good thing, and I'll leave here with my take. Zach, if you have anything to add, feel free. The one good thing that I would say, and the one glimmer of hope for this team is that when they drafted Trey Lance and they was juggling Trey Lance and Jimmy G, this team did not seem to care who was at quarterback. They was like, listen, just give me the ball. Debo, just give me the ball. I'll do something with it. You know, CMC, now that he's on the team, give me the ball. I'll do something with it. Brandon Ayuk is literally a star in the making. He's literally a number one option on a football team. I've been a fan of how he's played this year. They have guys that's just ground and pound, wear you down physically, just give me the ball. So it didn't seem to matter who was at quarterback, Trey Lance, Jimmy G. So let's see if they keep that same attitude with Brock Purdy or Baker or whoever the quarterback may be for this team going forward.